Okay, so starting with example 8 now, it says what is the exterior angle of a regular pentagon? Okay, so let's break this down. Exterior angles, okay, we know that they all have to add up to equal 360 degrees, okay? We also know that it's a pentagon, which means that it has 5 sides and 5 angles. And regular means that all the angles are congruent, okay? So what that means is that if all these angles within this pentagon are congruent, and if we drew, all right, if we drew out, all right, all of our exterior angles, okay, on this pentagon, that all of these would also have to be congruent. So all we're going to do is we are going to take the fact that the exterior angles within, all right, this regular pentagon have to add up to equal 360 degrees. And then they also have to be congruent. So all we're going to do is take 360 and divide it by 5, all right, which means that those have to be equal to 72 degrees. Okay. All right. Now, example 9 says find the exterior angle of angle Q. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend that out. All right. So this is what I'm trying to find here. Okay. So let's just talk real quick, though, about the relationship between this exterior angle and its adjacent interior angle. What's going on between those two? Well, if you take a look, they're a linear pair, all right, which means that they have to add up to 180 degrees. They're supplementary, okay? So the exterior angle and its adjacent interior angle are supplementary, which means they have to add up to 180 degrees. So with that in mind, that's going to help us because we're given a quadrilateral, all right? And so we can find what those 4 angles have to add up to. We don't know that it's regular, so that's not helpful, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to add up x. Well, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 minus 2 times 180. All right, we're going to get 2 times 180, which means that those angles, all right, the interior angles have to add up to equal 360 degrees, okay? So we're going to add up the 2x plus 2x plus x, all right? And that's going to give us 6x plus 5 plus 7, which is 12. And that's going to give us 360 degrees, okay? So if we solve this, guys, we're going to get x is equal to 58. Now, how does that help us, okay? What we can do is we can take that 58 and we can plug it in to this 2x plus 5. All right, and that would give us that interior angle of angle Q, but we're trying to find the exterior of angle of angle Q, which means then once we find that interior angle, we can subtract that from 180 in order to find the exterior angle, okay? So we're going to take that 58, plug it into the 2x plus 5, all right, and what we would get is 121. Okay, let's double check that. 2 times 58. Hold on, trying to get my calculator. All right, so 2 times 58, yep, plus 5, all right, gives us 121. We're now going to subtract that from 180, all right, and what we get then is 59 degrees, and that is our exterior angle of Q. Okay? Okay, so we're actually going to come back up to example 5 and example 6, okay? So example 5 says the measure of an interior angle of a regular polygon is 135. Find the number of sides of the polygon. Okay, so here's the deal, all right? It says that it's an interior angle, all right, but we don't know how many angles that polygon has, okay? We do know that it's regular, all right, which means that that polygon's angles all have to be congruent, okay? But we don't know what they have to add up to. So we can't just multiply by 4, we can't just multiply by 5, because we don't know, all right, how many angles that polygon is. That's what we're trying to find, okay? So what I want us to do, though, is I want to talk about the number that's always consistent in any polygon. All right, so what number is consistent in any polygon no matter the number of sides? And that number is 360 degrees, and that's because we're talking about exterior angles. Remember, any polygon, all right, is the exterior angles have to add up to 360 degrees, okay? So now let's talk about the relationship between an interior and its exterior angle. okay? So let's say, all right, I'm trying to draw my interior versus exterior angle, all right? And this is the picture I'm drawing. This is my interior right here. This is my, whoopsie. This is my interior, all right? This is my exterior angle. What's the relationship between them? Well, we already talked about that. They're supplementary, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to mark this as 135 degrees. And then I want to find my exterior angle, which I can do because I know that they're supplementary, which means that this is 45 degrees, okay? So let's talk about the significance of that 45 degrees, all right? That 45 degrees represents the exterior angle, all right? And we know that if the polygon is regular, all those exterior angles have to be congruent. So every single exterior angle has to be 45 degrees. And we know then, all right, that those exterior angles have to add up to 360 degrees. So all we're going to do is we're going to take the 360 and we're going to divide it by the 45 to find out how many angles have to be 45 degrees. And what we would find is that 8 sides are on that polygon. Okay. All right, last one. All right, so example 6 says the sum of the measures of an interior angle of a regular polygon is 4 times the sum of the exterior angles. Okay. How many sides does the polygon have? So this one sounds a lot more confusing than it is, all right? But we're just doing it exactly as it reads, okay? So it says here, all right, that the sum of the measures of the interior angles is, all right, remember is in math is going to be equals, okay, 4 times the sum of the exterior angles. So let's dissect this. We know that the sum of the exterior angles of any polygon is 360 degrees, correct? So we know that one side of that equal sign is going to be 4 times those exterior angles, which is 360 degrees. So we have that side, okay? Now the other side of that equation is going to be the sum of the measures of the interior angles. So it doesn't seem like that's super helpful, right? But we know that the sum of the measures of the interior angles is given to us in this formula right here. The sum of the interior angles is this formula, n minus 2 times 180. So I'm going to set this 4 times 360 equal to n minus 2 times 180. Okay? So solving, guys, all right, however you want to do it, I'm going to just divide by this 180 out in front. Okay? I'm going to divide this by 180. And I'm going to get n minus 2 is equal to 4 times 360 divided by 180 is 2. All right. N minus 2 is equal to 8, which means n is equal to 10. And that's my final answer. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is come back and try the U-Try, all right, down here. And then the next video, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys those answers.